this t-shirt is just really, really cute. So let's start with that. But hi, hello, yes! We are doing the first book haul of the year 2025. So I have bought myself 45 books in total. There are some pre-orders that aren't here, won't be here until March, April, May, June, stuff like that. Anyway, I also need to be rather mindful of where I spend my money for the next couple of months, because I have medical things to take care of in March, and then potentially May, I want to say. Not rhyme. Mainly because I can't really do April. April is going to be a little bit busy work-wise. Or not. Who cares? Anyway, rambling off. We are doing a book haul. I'm going to show off some of the books that all the books that I got, and try and be smart about it. Don't know what that means, but I'll do my best. Of course, the first thing to do is to show you how I was not smart about things, because somehow I managed to order 2 copies of the same book. It's Sunbringer by Hannah Kaner. Exclusive edition as well, Waterstones. I mean, they look really pretty. So these are the second book. This is the second book in the Fallen Gods trilogy. The third book is, well, it's either out already or coming out, but I'm collecting them in the paperback version, because I very much like paperbacks more than like hardcovers. Like hardcovers can be really pretty, but yeah, I really like paperbacks, but it's easier to cuddle with a paperback. That said, I do have, there are 2 hardbacks. So you know I put my money where my mouth is. And speaking of, I do have 2 projects that I really want to do in a timely manner. So I believe it's in August? It's the international... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that in August is... Well, there's 2 very special days. One is the International Day of Cats. And there's also, I think pretty much in the same week, it's the International Dog Day. So I already have books on cats that I had very much definitely planned a year in advance to read. And let's hope, fingers crossed, that I managed to stick to that. But I also got myself a few books on dogs, because I also like dogs. Not as much as I like cats, but dogs are... I've met some wonderful dogs throughout my time, so... and I'm sticking with my little... Well, not tradition, but I did find a book of dog poems by the world's greatest poets. And this cover is just wonderful. That is such a dog. That is such a dog. This I'm definitely going to be reading. This is definite for that day. A classic one that kind of deals with dog. But mainly about an autistic main character. This is The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. And this is a few years since this came out. I've only just now been gaining the interest to read it. There is a dog in it, and it does kick off the narrative, because the main character, who is a 15-year-old autistic boy, finds his neighbor's dog dead, and he wants to figure out what happened to the dog, and that kicks off events. Like, I've heard quite a bit about this book, this story. Wasn't it made in a movie? Well, it's not mentioned on the blurb, but yeah, I'm a little sad that the dog character in this book isn't. Yeah, anyway. Might start with that one because it might make me a little bit sad. Now, I don't know how many books are in this series, but this is hopefully a lot lighter and a lot more optimistic. This is Anthony Johnston, the dog sitter detective, and the dog sitter detective takes the lead. Again, no clue how many books there are, if they're I don't know, but they just look cute. Basically, it's about this dog sitter who becomes a detective. Let's see. Oh yeah, first book, her friend is accused of murder. And second, there is a dead singer found during the annual Canal Carnival festivities. Okay, so it's got dogs, it got murder, and hopefully some happy, good feelings. And of course, I need fantasy as well. This is Sarah Kendall's Raglan and the Curse of the Black Dog in the Wolfling Chronicles. I think this might be the first book in a series, and for some reason I get a very Welsh mythology and folk tales from this book. I don't know why. Wolfling might also. I don't know. I'm gonna find out when I read this book. But it's got a lot of words. Eloquency. But yeah, so fancy, murder mystery, contemporary, quantum physics. This is Chad Ursel's How to Teach Quantum Physics to Your Dog. Because why not? Oh, there's another book coming back. Breakfast with Einstein. The Exotic Physics of Everyday Objects. Okay, but yeah. Also just the cover again. Here's like a squirrel and a dog doing thinking in quantum physics. So yeah, I managed to find something very interesting, non-fiction, related to dogs. I'm like, good job. So I actually accidentally started collecting a series that is very popular, and I still haven't read the first book. I bought the first book first, and then I accidentally bought the third book that is like Christmas themed, and I'm like, I kind of need to read the first two before I can read the third one, because although it might not talk exclusively about, might not be spoilerific, but it's definitely going to be building up on what comes first, right? And that would be Benjamin Stevenson's series. This is the second book I run on this train is A Suspect. I do have the first one, that is A Run in My Family Has Killed Someone. I still haven't read it. I should do that, and that kind of is the plan. So in this one, we are following the main character who is now an author, and on the train, he's on this train with a whole lot of other authors, and someone is dead, someone is murdered, someone is killed, and everyone on the train is a suspect, and they all have, I believe, a motive and the know-how of how to do it. Sounds fantastic, and I really, really hope I like this series. Otherwise, my used, the what's the word for it? Nytjamarkaður. Charity shop. Yeah, charity shop. I think that's the word. I'm gonna stick with it. So my local charity shop is, otherwise they're just gonna gain more from me. Like, I am feeding that store, which reminds me that is where one of these copies is gonna go, because I don't need 2 copies. Onwards! So I believe this is fancy. It is Francis White's Voyage of the Damned. There will be magic, there will be murder. So, and look at the cover. Oh, it's so pretty. So basically this is a fantasy about royals on a boat, and someone who is popular is killed, and they need to figure out what's going on. That's the long and the short of it. Otherwise I have no idea what's going on. Just, it is pretty. It has the ocean. Love the ocean. And people die. So obviously I also need something a little bit more cozy. I got another of these stories that have been really popular all over the internet. Is Juan Boreum. I am so gonna be butchering names. It's Welcome to the Hinamdong Bookshop. So this is a cozy story about bookshop in Korea. About, the main character has a burnout and basically runs away to re-establish herself. Cozy reads. Speaking of cozy reads, I have Laurie Gilmore's 3 books. I also pre-ordered the 4th book, so I better be liking this series. I got the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and the Christmas Tree Farm. And I did pre-order the Strawberry Pancake something. I cannot remember the 4. Like, these always have 4 letters. It was a Strawberry Pancake restaurant? I can't remember, but yeah, that is a pre-order. So again, if I don't like this series, my local charity store is going to be eating very, very well. So there's a break point, right? So from the comfy cozy to the potentially cozy murdery. So this is Stuart Turton's The Last Murder at the End of the World, which might have three point of views: Abby, Niema, and Emery. So there are. It's the end. I think it's post-apocalyptic. It's got scientists and other people, and there's a fog all around the place where they are. And somehow the scientists are keeping the fog away, because if the fog comes, they die. And then one of the scientists ends up dead, and they have to solve the murder in order to keep the fog away, which I don't know how that works out. Is the fog sentient? Is someone controlling the fog? Why? How does solving a murder keep a deadly fog away? So we're gonna find that one out. I mean, I'm gonna find it out. I'm sure some of you have already read this book and know the actual plot of it. Speaking of fairly, I won't say fairly popular, but then again, that might just be me reading, or watching Books and Lala. This is Josh Merriman's A House at the Bottom of a Lake, which is about a couple who do recreational diving, and they find a house at the bottom of a lake and become obsessed with it. It's less than 200 pages. It's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, I feel like a lot of these books were very heavily inspired by Books and Lala, so clearly it's a very heavy clue of who I watched the most. Stephen Graham Jones's I Was a Teenage Slasher. So it's an adult man looking back on his Texas youth, where I think he was possessed by something in order to be a teenage slasher, and how he was killing his friends. But clearly he survived because he's telling this story. So hopefully I'm gonna like it. I think it was... who have I seen talking about this? I think Jan didn't like it. I have no clue who else. You know what? Doesn't matter. I'm talking about Meme. Anyway, so I also got... oh, maybe... no, it was this one that she didn't like. Grady Hendrix, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. Yeah, I think Jan didn't like this one. Look at the edges. Oh, it's pretty. Which I can understand, because this one is about pregnant young women, girls. I think some of them are devastatingly young, who are unmarried and pregnant, so they are shipped off to this place where they can be shameful outside of the eye of society, where they are being taken care of up to the point where they give birth. And I think this is a story of revenge and empowerment and potentially things going bad. And it really brings to mind just the industry, famously in Ireland, of unmarried mothers basically being taken advantage of and shamed for becoming pregnant, no matter what the circumstances are of why they were pregnant to begin with, or their own age. So there might be real historical elements used to enrich in the story, and that's going to be interesting. Speaking of history, the rest is history. History's Most Curious Questions answered by Tom Holland and Dominic Sandbrook with Goalhanger Podcasts. So there are going to be questions such as: what was the most disastrous party in history? How did a hair appointment almost blow Churchill's cover? Why did the Nazis believe they were descended from the people of Atlantis? And what made Alfred the Great so great? Ooh! From a British political leader who allegedly plotted to feed his lover to alligators, to a Brazilian emperor whose subjects mistook him for a banana. How? There is nothing too big or too small for Tom and Dominic to unpick. How do you mistake a person for a banana? Like, these are questions that we need answered. And another non-fiction, here is Katie Kelleher. The Ugly History of Beautiful Things, Essays on Desire and Consumption. So, I mean, first off, the title is very evocative and the cover is really pretty. So yeah, it's a history of things and it's got, you know, consumer psychology, I assume. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be an interesting one because I have high hopes for this title. See, that would be second to last of the non-fiction that I have. I got Mark Lawrence's The Book That Wouldn't Burn. I believe this is the first in a trilogy. So, it has to do with libraries and something called The Dust and things happening. So it might be a story about stories. I have seen the third book being advertised, so presumably there's a second book. And hopefully with this one I will read this story first before I try and collect the thing. Like, goodness gracious, I need to stop doing that. Probably gonna continue, but hey, I can hope. Now this one is definitely inspired by Gavin Reedstall, so because this is the entire collection of The Wizard of Oz, all 15 books. Not all of them by the original author, but I've only read the stories on a PDF file from the Gutenberg project, and I'm like, I want to read that. And of course my battery's running low, so speed running. This is inspired by Kate Kavanaugh, not Katie. It's Jamie Attenberg, 1000 Words, a writer's guide to staying creative, focused, and productive all year round. And this is where various authors, like, this is the entire list. And sometimes you just need a little help with staying on track. Now this one might be something that, no, wait, I don't know. It's Kanamari Okoroafor. Financial Joy. Banish debt, grow your money, and unlock financial freedom in 10 weeks. This sounds like a challenge, and I don't know if it's something that maybe I should try it. I mean, at least it doesn't hurt to read it, right? Aha, these. This is Thomas Erickson, Surrounded by Idiots and Surrounded by Liars. So, psychology. The 4 types of human behavior, or how to understand those who cannot be understood, and how to stop lies and half-truths ruining your life. Obviously, I was taken by the title, so... Ooh, Dr. Karan Rajan, this book may save your life. How? Well, here are some things that are brought up. The dangers of plucking your nose hairs. Your untapped natural reflexes to combat stress, which I definitely could do with learning about. How to manage pain with simple mind tricks. And why you should never hold in a fort, which I fully agree with. Never ever hold in wind, whether it goes up or down. Never do that. I'm definitely going to read in this book and potentially pass it around. Thanks to people who read English. So here is Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. The courage to be disliked. A single book can change your life. So, saving a life, change a life. Stop people pleasing and achieve true happiness. So clearly I am on this entire self-help thing magic. So I think it just comes with a new year, doesn't it? I am speedrunning. I do realize that I'm really interested in this book though. It's Ben Carpenter's Fat Loss Habits. Diets don't work, habits do. And I completely agree with that. I have been saying since I was a teenager, diets come from hell. I have an aunt by marriage who basically ruined her body by constantly chasing diets. They wrecked her digestive system, her neural system. Just her body is just not doing good now. She's, yeah. And I'm fairly certain that's because of diets. Because listen, diets in the 80s and 90s, they were out of here, insane. So, and also because I really could do with help with losing some weight, and I firmly believe that it's habits got me into this. Habits are gonna get me out of it, or at least, hopefully. Second to last, Adam Richardson, How to Build a Body That Lasts. Back to one point. Exercises for longevity, strength, and health. So hopefully these two together. Oh, actually they yellow and blue, blue and yellow. So hopefully these will be two good companions. How to build habits, and some exercises and helpful things. There's nothing that makes you as stressed as a battery that's about to run out. And last but certainly not least, it's Yuval Noah Harari's Nexus, A Brief History of Information Networks from the Stone Age to AI. Okay, it is one of the two books hardbacks that I bought this time around. This is the author of Sapiens. That I don't have that one, and I haven't read it, but I'm interested in it. And then I saw this one being advertised. You know, it was on discount like most of these books, and it just looked interesting. Also, it has a carrier pigeon on the front, and I'm like, bird, sold. But yeah, The Power Stories, How to Kill Alone, The Perennial Dilemma. It's gonna be interesting. So yeah, these are the 45 books in total that I got this time around. And like I said at the beginning, I need to be on the brakes when it comes to buying books in the upcoming months, because, well, first I will need to read the books that I have. That's why I bought them. But also I've got medical things to take care of. There's traveling involved and annoyances. So I'm not stressed about that. It's just I need to keep an eye on my spending. It's something I'm not the best at, clearly. But yeah, I hope you liked what I got. I mean, if you didn't, that doesn't really concern me, because obviously I got these books for myself, so I don't know why I said that. Never mind. But yeah, if you read any other books that I have got, don't spoil them for me, but maybe drop a line or two about how you liked them. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you liked what you saw. I will hopefully see you again in some other video of mine on this channel. I do have a few. And yeah, otherwise we will hopefully see each other again in some other video of mine. Until then, take care. Bless, bless.